Monster Musume is a manga series by Okiado Sensei, which had an anime air in the summer season of 2015, with two OVAs being subsequently released afterwards in 2016 and 2017. The series is based around two defining genres, one being ecchi and the other being harem, with the unique harem twist being the harem is comprised of many different types of monster girls. With the story seemingly being told through the eyes of a normal guy called Kimito, who, although was not an active participant of the Monster Exchange program, is randomly assigned a Lamia girl called Miia by Agent Smith and is then forced to accept her living there. And as the show progresses, steadily more and more of the monster girls move into their house, from a centaur to a slime, and from a harpy to a spider. Now, as we know, the first girl that Kimito meets is called Miia, and has one of the most recognizable introductory panels in the manga, as in it she is lying in bed with Kimito with herself coiled around him like a boa constrictor, inspiring some comfortable looking body pillows. Miia herself acts all sweet when alone with Kimito, yet her relationships with the other girls who live in the house is very questionable, such as in the second OVA she was actively pushing for Arachne to leave, and her aggressive nature towards other girls, such as Miro, leads us to ask whether or not she's in fact the yandere of the harem, seeing as no other member of the harem bears this type of hostility. So, is Miia the yandere of the harem? Well, to answer that question, we first need to define what a yandere is. Urban Dictionary defines it as someone who is sweet and kind at first glance, but when it comes to their love, brackets crush, they will act obsessive and violent. And Wiktionary defines it as yandere, brackets plural yanderes, brackets 1, chiefly Japanese fiction. A character, usually a girl, who fits the archetype of being generally kind and loving or gentle, but suddenly switching to being aggressive or deranged, often homicidally so. And secondly, chiefly Japanese fiction, a character, usually a girl, who is violently obsessed with their crush. Popular examples of yandere include Toga from My Hero Academia and Monica from the infamous Doki Doki Literature Club game, both of which take their love of the protagonist to an extreme and often violent level. So now we know the definitions of a yandere, can Mia's actions be equated to one? Focusing only on the anime and the OVAs for this analysis, there are plenty of examples of yandere type behaviour. An easy example of this is how she was fine with Pape moving in, but as soon as it was revealed that Pape was the same age as her, she charged in to prevent Kimito from helping Pape, much to Kimito's detriment. Or how she attacks and tries to get rid of any immediate romantic rival to her, such as when she and Ragnar first exchanged dialogue. These actions clearly demonstrate yandere-like behaviour, yet the best example of this is from the second OVA. In the OVA, when Ragnar's former host comes back to try and claim her, she does nothing apart from cook for the guests, which, although might look negative due to Miia being an abysmal chef, is actually not, as Miia really believes that she can cook good food. So, from her point of view, it is not a negative, as, unlike the rest of the housemates who do not want Ragnar to leave, Miia sees it as a way of getting rid of a rival without doing anything. Furthermore, when Kimito turns down Ragnar's former host, she laments how she said she could live anywhere. The show later in the post-credits of the OVA further references how she has a yandere characteristics, with her going deranged when it is revealed that she can't wear lingerie as well as the other girls, and might be passed up by Kimito because of it. Finally, one thing we need to be aware of is that harem writers seldom have more than one personality type in their harems, as the personality types would directly clash. So, if any other character is a clear and obvious yandere, Miia wouldn't be. And, as I've mentioned earlier in the Monster Musume, none of the other characters display any yandere traits apart from maybe Ragnar and her bondage. And, as seen in the OVA, she doesn't actually hold any possessive grasp over Kimito as Miia does, and she was quite willing to move hosts and leave him behind, given the options if he wanted her to leave. This thus increases the chances that Miia is the yandere in the harem. So, to conclude, is Miia a yandere? Yeah, she is. She's not as dramatic of a yandere as the others I've listed earlier, but that's because Monster Musume's tone is not that sad or dramatic. It is an ecchi harem comedy about monster girls. So even though Miia is a yandere, it's toned down a lot to fit in with this. So Miia, for me, is a yandere with a soft Y, and she's a yandere-like traits, but just not the incredible violent tendencies that other yanderes have. So she is a yandere, but not an extreme version.